Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. I'm really sorry that I sound like really nasally and like blocked up, but I don't know, since my operation my throat has still been quite like, feels constricted, so sorry that I sound a little bit weird and nasally, but I don't like it either. Nothing I can do. If you watch my videos, you will know that I hauled a bunch of drugstore makeup maybe like last month, and I was going to do a first impressions on it, so here I am today. I've got all that makeup that I hauled in that video, so I'll link that in the eye. I think it's like here somewhere. I'll link that video there if you want to see what I bought that day. So yeah, I'm just going to be applying all the makeup that I bought that day. I did buy like a few different types of foundations and things like that, but I've just selected one. So yeah, I'm just going to be applying the makeup that I bought that day and giving you a little bit of a first impressions on it. I've got a full day packed. I've got to go shopping, I've got to go outside and do all these sorts of things, so I'll come back and check in about what sort of state that is all in when I come back. So for primer, I'm going to go into this Soap & Glory's Girls Contour Kit, and it came with this one heck of a blot primer, so I'm going to use that all over my T-zone. It's quite thick and creamy actually. I thought it was going to be more like a professional, but it doesn't feel like that silicone-y. It probably has silicone in it, but it feels quite creamy to be fair. I might just apply this all over my face. I'm also going to put my hair up because it's already doing my head in and I'm only one product in. Okay, so for foundation, I've got the L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick Foundations. I've got one in the shade 100 Ivory and one in the shade 120 Rose Vanilla. I feel like I would have been 110, but there was no 110, so we're going to have to mix. I'm thinking just like maybe stripe it on. That looks like really good coverage. I don't know how much we're going to need of this product, so I'm just going with it. Look how dramatically darker that looks for just a shade up. Is that not ridiculous? I'm then going to go in with the Real Techniques buffing brush and just buff this into my skin. I don't think sponge would be the way forward with this one, just because it's like, it's not liquidy enough. I don't know. I just feel like brush would be a better way forward with this foundation. Okay, so far this is looking horrifically bad. It looks dry, cakey and gross on my skin. So what I'm going to do is go wet my Real Techniques sponge and see if that makes any difference by like solving this mess. Okay, so I've just got that wet Real Techniques sponge and I'm just kind of just pouncing that all over the skin just to see if that makes any difference and to make it stop looking so dry. I'm very so-so about this foundation at the moment. I feel like perhaps because my skin is quite dry at the moment, it's just not sitting quite right, so maybe after a face mask or just after deep hydration of my skin it would look better. I can definitely see good coverage out of it, but it's not my favourite. It's not my favourite. I'm then going to go into the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealers. I've got the shades C2 and C6 here. I couldn't really find my shade, but I could find my undertone, so I feel like I can make this one work. I'm going to put C6 under my eyes and just where I need it, and then C2 just on the points of real darkness of my eyes, so we're gonna go do that. And look at the doe foot applicator on these things. They're absolutely monstrous, aren't they? I haven't tried out these concealers yet, but a lot of people rave about them, so I have very high hopes for it. I'm really impressed with the coverage of these concealers. It just feels very creamy, very hydrating, which is what I like. I'm just going to put C2 just under my eyes, just here, just where it's like the darkest, just to really brighten that area up. But they're really full coverage, but they're also not creasy too much. I don't see much creasing going on, which again is what I really like. I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge. Just to set the face, I'm going to go in with this Revlon Photo Ready powder. Yeah, it's Revlon Photo Ready powder in the shade 10 Fair or Light. I'm going to go in with this little mini Real Techniques Multitask brush. I probably should wash these before, but whatever. And I'm going to go in with this powder. Oh, it smells quite weird. I mean, it doesn't smell awful, it just smells like it has a smell. All I'm doing really is just setting the foundation in place and setting the concealer just so it doesn't slide away and patch off. I'm not really trying to soak any oils up or anything. I've got to say, I actually really do like this little brush. It'd be a good blush brush as well, but it also is doing a really good job for powdering the face, and I feel like it'll be a good bronzer brush as well. So for travelling, I'm actually going to really enjoy this brush. And I thought the handle would be too small and I thought I'd find it quite hard, but because it's like got a tapered edge where it like flicks out almost, I don't know if you can see that, it like makes holding it quite easy. Like you can just grab it quite easily. I don't know. It's quite a nice shape. And while I'm on the powders, I really wanted to try the Bourjois Powder de Ritz Java powder. It's like got rice powder in it, but it's a little bit luminous and pink. So I'm just going to go in with it on this e.l.f. What is this? An e.l.f. 105 brush. It looks like a little stippling brush, and I just want to put this under my eyes and see if it makes any difference. It has illuminating properties in it to kind of make your eyes or your face look a little bit more iridescent, so I'm hoping that it might make my eyes look a little bit more glowy. I've got to say, I really don't like the smell of this powder. It smells of like old people, and I'm not sure I like the smell of old people on my face. But I also have the Revlon Sculpt and Highlight Kit right here, and I do actually want to try this out because when I swatched it on my hand, it was really just patchy and disgusting, so hopefully it might be a bit different on my face. So I want to go in with this Real Techniques Mini Medium Sculpting Brush. It's like an angled brush, and I really like that for contouring and warming up my face. I just feel like it's really easy. I'm going to go into this shade here, which is called Sculpt. Oh my gosh. Can you see how much fallout has just come out of that powder? That's absolutely ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I feel like I can't really go in on it because I'm just literally pressing it and it's just exploding in the pan. It looks so much more pigmented on camera than it does in real life. Like, it looks really harsh on the viewfinder, but in real life it's like, where are you? Where is it? I'm just going to drag a bit of the bronzer down my neck. I'm just going to go back into that Multitask brush and just drag it down a little bit, just because my face is looking a little bit orange and my neck is looking quite the opposite. I'm going to take that slanted brush again and go into like this banana-y powder and see if I can clean it up a little bit. I don't really know. I know banana powder is not meant for cleaning up so much, but I don't know if I'm a massive fan of this. I don't know. Nah. For blusher, I'm going to go into the Nip+fab blush palette. This is in the shade 01 Blushed. What an original name. And we've got 4 blushes in here called Flamingo, Cocktail, Whisper and Velvet. Very cute names. I'm going to go into the Real Techniques blusher brush. Love this brush with a passion. My favourite brush of all time. Mwah, love it. I think I want to go for something pretty neutral, but not too like neutral. So I think I'm maybe going to mix these two. Or these two. I think I'm going to mix these two right here because they look a little bit like peachy and that one's very neutral, so I feel like I might get a good colour with this. These blushes aren't overly pigmented, but they are very buildable, which is what I do prefer in a blush, if I'm going to be honest. I don't like something to be full pigment and then me spend hours trying to blend it out, so I quite like that. I don't have a brow product here, so I'm going to choose my MAC charcoal brown eyeshadow, which is what I always use, and just fill in my brows because I don't want to sit here any longer with no brows on. It's kind of freaking me out. Okay, so brows are on. I'm not feeling like I'm having a great makeup day, to be honest, and we haven't even finished the makeup, so I hold out great hope. So we're going to go in with the Soap & Glory Sexy Mother Pucker XL Extreme-Plump Lip Gloss thing. I'm just going to put this on while we do our eye makeup and see if it plumps my lips. It smells gross. It's coming out like a white like gel sort of texture. I don't know how much I'm supposed to apply either, but we're just going with it. I don't plump yet. We're going to do the eyes. I'm going to go into this NYX palette. It's got like 6 little eyeshadows in. I've never actually tried NYX eyeshadows on my eyes, so hopefully they blend nicely. I'm going to go in with this MUA F16 brush. I'm going to go into this like little creamy shade here. And I'm going to scoot you in a little bit closer because you can't actually see my eyes. Now you can see the mess that's happening on my face. So I'm just going to apply this all over my lids. Just set anything that isn't set already, I guess. I'm getting some real tingling on my lips, I'm telling you. It feels like a bee stung them. It's not very nice. And with the same brush, I'm just going to like put it on the centre of it sort of thing, like on the edge. Just like that, on this sort of burgundy brown shade. I feel like it's not a true brown, but it's very warm. I'm just gonna fluff this through the crease. I'm then gonna go in with this MUA E10 brush into this lovely green shade, and I'm just gonna apply this all over the lid. Why not? I'm just repeating this process and just adding a tiny bit of green to that fluffy brush just to blend out the edges a little bit. And then just fluffing whatever is left on that brush on the lower lash line. I don't want to add too much to it. but just fluffing whatever is left in that brush on there. I then really want to try some of these Barry M holographic lid toppers. I swatched these in my haul video, so again check it out if you want to see the swatches, because the swatches alone made me want to buy the other two. So I've actually already bought the other two because there's 4 of them all together, but I think I'm going to use this green one called Supernova because I think it would suit the eyes better than the blue, but we're going to go with this one. I'm just going to pat this on the centre of the eye. This already looks amazing. And then I'm just going to pat it out with my ring finger all over the eyelid. Oh, I feel like a mermaid. I feel like that green base that we put down really allowed for this shadow to really pop out as a real green rather than that reflective purple going on in there. It looks really, really pretty. I'm trying to take the fluffy brush and just blend out the edges because I do want that brown crease to really come through and more of the lid to be shiny. I don't want it to lose its depth. On that MUA E10 brush, I'm just going to go into the deepest chocolatey brown shade in this NYX palette and just kind of push it on the outer corners a little bit, just so the eye doesn't look too flat with that glittery topper on top. And then skipping back to highlight, because we're just doing everything out of order in this video, I'm going to go into the Barry M Illuminating Strobe Cream, and this is in the shade Iced Bronze 2. And it just looks really, really beautiful. I'm going to go in with this Real Techniques Mini Expert Face Brush, which is typically for foundation and things like that, but I feel like we could probably use this for highlighting. I'm not sure. We're going to try it out. Okay, we're going to apply it first and then blend it out, maybe with our fingers. I'd say this highlight is more of a natural glowy highlight rather than like a kapow highlight. It's very natural and glowy, which is very nice sometimes. It doesn't really go with this look that we've got on, but do you see what I mean? It's just very glowy and nice, but it's not like in your face highlight, which sometimes can be really nice, but it's alright. I'm going to chuck the Maybelline Lash Sensational Intense Black Mascara on. Okay, so the final step of this very dodgy makeup look that is currently on my face is the lips. So we're going to go with this sleek twist up pencil in 995 Nude and this MUA Luxe Lipstick. I love these lipsticks so much. I already know I love them, but I haven't tried this colour out, in number 7. Okay, first impressions on these liners already. I absolutely love them. They melt right into the lips, and if I was to apply this all over the lips, it would make my lips look really juicy and really good. So love the lip liners. Okay, so makeup done. I'm just going to try to lock it in with some MAC Fix Plus and just try to really set this stuff down. Okay, so this is looking a little bit crazy, but we're going to go about our day, see what stays, see what doesn't, and then I'll be back later with my final verdict. Okay, so I am back, and this makeup has been on my face for about 8 hours now. I'm still feeling quite congested, and I'm not really too sure why. I feel like 8 hours is a really good wear test time, because it's like how long you'd be at work for, or if you went on a night out, probably wouldn't last more than about 8 hours. So yeah, I mean, I would do it longer, but I'm still feeling quite congested, and I just feel like the longer the evening goes on, I'm just not going to be able to speak very well, so we're going to do it now. So before I talk about all the hits and misses that are on my face at the moment, I'm going to scoot you in a little bit closer just to show you what is going on with my face. So I hope this is close enough for you to be able to see every little pore on my face, and the fact that I've got like a little bit of a stash growing at the moment. Need to sort that out, ignore that please. But this highlight is still really, really glowy, and it looks really nice on the skin, not too chunky at all. So if you're after like a really natural glowy highlight through the summer, or you just wanted to put over really thin makeup, I feel like this would look really nice because it's not too glittery. The foundation has broken up around my nose a little bit, but that happens all the time for me, like right here, so I don't know if that was the primer or something, but it's not stayed around the nose area, or the concealer for that matter. If I get like scary close, you can see that my eyebrow situation and forehead is just a no-go area, to be honest. Like, it's really dry and flaky, and I think that is something to do with my skin, because I have dry flaky skin, but the foundation has done it no favours. It is patching off a little bit here. You can see a little bit of redness going on. It's not looking its finest, I will say, and underneath the eyes as well. Again, I don't know if that's the powder or the concealer, because I did put the concealer just above my brows as well. So the cheeks aren't looking too bad. I've got a bit of wear off here, like where the foundation has patched off a little bit, but The contour stayed on. I'd say the blush is still pretty much intact. My lips are so dry, so please excuse that, but I feel like the colour has sort of stayed there, so it's not too bad. It's like not horrendous. I really like the glitter on the eyes. I don't know if you were able to tell when I was up close. The glitter has stayed intact, and the shadow is really nice as well. So I like the shadow and the glitters. I would 100% recommend the Barry M glitters. I think for £5 they're such a steal, and they're just so beautiful. So I'd recommend them as well. I think I'm going to have to play around with this foundation a little bit. It's difficult to tell because when you're trying out new powders and new primer, sometimes it can just be a little bit difficult to sort of tell what's what. So yeah, upon closer inspection, I really like the eyeshadow. I did like the lip product. Of course, I had eaten things, and obviously after 8 hours, no top up, it was going to wear off. But I really liked the colour. I really liked the creaminess of it. So for that, I would definitely recommend, where is it? I would recommend the lipsticks so much. These are only £3. They have like a beautiful pattern on them as well. They have like a really beautiful sort of diamondy sort of pattern on them as well. And the lip liners from Sleek were also really nice and creamy. I feel like you could definitely get away with just wearing this by itself. Which a lot of people do. My mum does all the time. She just wears lip liners by themselves. This is one that's going to melt into your lips. It's going to feel a little bit hard at first, but then it's just going to melt into your lips, make your lips look really plump and just really healthy. So I feel like this combo was a really good one today, and it did last for quite a while until I was like drinking drinks and doing all that sort of stuff. So I feel like it wore for about 3 hours without touching up, which is not too bad for like a cream based lipstick. I actually really love these little brushes. I think they're perfect for travelling. At first I thought they were a bit of a gimmick, but actually when you think about it, this is my blush brush that I don't go anywhere with, but I feel like the size of it is just a little bit smaller for this one on the Multitask brush, and I could definitely use this for blush rather than this one. And I'm saving so much space, look. Like, look how much space I'm saving. Like, the brush head is a little bit smaller, but I don't mind, and just like the stem of it is half the size. And then when you look at sort of foundation brushes, this is the Expert Face brush and this is the buffing brush, so technically like the same thing. It's half the size, but the brush head is just a tiny bit smaller, so I feel like these would be really good for travelling. I believe these are only £5 as well, so again, really good investment. I think there's one more in this little sort of mini collection that I'll be picking up, but I really love these brushes. I think they're going to be a major game changer for when I go travelling because they're just so small. Just so small. I just love it. I just love it. Like I said when I was zooming up, I really like this strobing stick. I feel like it's going to be really lovely and dewy and natural for when I don't want to wear too much makeup. At first I was a bit like disappointed by how much it was not illuminating, but again, if I just put it on the back of my hand and just really generously go, you can just see how much that's reflecting in the light. It's just really creamy and beautiful and just wet looking, you know, it just looks wet. And actually I really like that for some makeup looks that I do that are a bit more on the natural side. I'd say the NYX eyeshadow palettes are 100% worth it. I think they're really beautiful colours. They're very different. I don't really have greens and pinky purples in my collection in one palette, so I think this is a really pretty palette. I probably wouldn't reach for this on an everyday basis just because I don't really wear like these two colours on an everyday, but these like sort of browny colours are really easy to chuck in the crease and stuff like that. So it's a really nice little palette. These are the first NYX shadows that I've tried, so if they're all like this, I definitely recommend them because they have full pigmentation and they were really easy to blend, and obviously they have really good lasting power as well because my crease is still on point. The Nip+fab blusher palette. Now, I don't know, I'm like sitting on the fence about this one. I'd say it's nice and you probably wouldn't regret it if you bought it, and they've got some nice tones of blush in here, but I'd say go to the Essence counter in Wilkinson's. They do blushes for £1 and they are stunning. They're one of my favourite blushes, so I'd say this was okay. It wasn't bad. It didn't wear off too much. It didn't patch off too much after I'd kind of set everything in, but I probably won't find myself gravitating towards this again. It was okay. I was actually surprised by this primer. I thought it was going to be very silicone-y based. Does it have silicone in? I don't actually know. It doesn't actually say, but I thought it was going to be much more silicone based and much more like Benefits Professional, but it wasn't at all. It was very creamy, very rich feeling. I can't explain it. Like a very, oh yeah, creamy, rich feeling. This thing, well, no. Revlon, what are you doing? Like, this is such a bummer for me because I was expecting so much more, but even as I've opened it, like you can see the fallout on there. Can you just about see just that banana shade? It's just kind of fallen out everywhere and I've not done anything with it. I was just a little bit disappointed in this, to be honest. Like, that's supposed to be a highlight and I'm just like, is it though? is it? I just think overall, even the shades that I was kind of hoping would work, because I was kind of ignoring the highlight because I knew it wasn't going to work for me, the Banana Powder shade was okay. It was just a little bit abysmal, to be honest. But these two shades here that I was hoping would work just looked a little bit, I don't know if I could, muddy, is that the right word? Like, they don't look too bad, but I've just got much better bronzers that don't puff up all over the palette when I use them. Like I literally dipped into the bronzer and it exploded everywhere, and I'm just not about that life. I don't want a messy bronzer. Okay, so powders. I don't really know what to think of both of these. I think I need to try them again, like I said, with a foundation and a base that I know works. I think that this Photo Ready powder actually is more of a foundation-y sort of powder. I feel like you could wear a very serum-y foundation and then put this on top and it would work better. But I think with a very full coverage foundation like this one, it just didn't work out very well because it's very, very opaque and it is a really beautiful powder. It feels very velvety and it just feels nice. So I'd say it's worth your penny. This powder, however, I don't like the smell of it. I don't know if I liked the smell of it at first or not, but it literally smells like old people soap. I'm not really too sure. It just smells a bit funky. If you ever get a chance to see this in the shop, just have a sniff of it and you'll see what I mean. It just smells like old people. It's weird. And then finally coming down to the last few products here, we're going to talk about the base. Now, I wasn't actually a fan of this foundation and I thought I would be. It's very creamy and it feels really sort of moisturising on the back of your hand when you swatch it, but when you apply it on your face, it looks great, and then when you go to blend in, it just kind of looks a little bit cakey. If this was something that I was just want to chuck on every day, it just wouldn't be for me. I want a foundation that's just going to look good, not necessarily full coverage, just make my skin look good, you know? This little fella, the Extreme Sexy Plumpy Mother Pucker lip gloss thing, was actually really cool. It made my lips feel quite plump. I don't know if it actually did anything. Probably would say don't waste your money on it because it probably didn't do enough for the £10 that it cost, but it was okay. The concealers. Now, these 100% creased on me. They're really good full coverage. They don't have any scent. They come in really good shades. They blended out really nicely. I didn't feel like they made my face look cakey at all. For £4, I would say this is an absolute steal and I really, really like this concealer. I couldn't possibly say if I like it more than my collection concealer, which is around the same price mark. But I feel like this would be a good contender in the drugstore world because I feel like these are really creamy. They didn't crease up on me too much. Did a little bit underneath my eyes, but a lot of concealers do. But yeah, I think I actually really enjoy these. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Thank you for sticking around. I feel like this video's gone on forever. My voice is as nasally as it could possibly be. I will of course leave all the products that I used on my face in the description bar below. But if you want to see the pricing of all these things, I have got that in my previous video description bar. Again, I'll link it up here again, so you can click on that and just see what the prices were and what other products that I hauled in that haul. But I'm actually quite happy with it. I mean, this wasn't the best makeup look that I've ever created and I feel like my base wasn't on point, but I feel like that's the nature of the beast when you do first impressions. Just some things won't work with others, but I've definitely got some good makeup products here that I'm really happy with and that I'm really sort of excited to try with other bits of makeup that I know work for me. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching today's video. Give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Join my little family, you know you want to. Thank you so much for watching once again, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. So yeah, oh Jesus. I'm then gonna go into the what? So I want to go in with this Revlon, no. Is that necessary though? I need to sneeze. Blended properly, I can't open it. Then, okay, powders.